Welcome to another podcast of the current situation, Manchester United. I'm going to be doing this match reaction very, very early because I want the thoughts to be very fresh in my head, and I just want to make this being said, bro, because I've seen a few comments regarding the match. I've seen a few comments regarding the starting 11. I've seen a few comments that's regarding can Manchester United maintain and sustain their place in terms of being a top side. Are they good enough to win the Premier League title? And that is where I'm going to get at in a few seconds. But Manchester United drew against Crystal Palace away from home, 0-0. First of all, David De Gea didn't start because of personal reason. I guess his missus had a baby on the way, so he wanted to probably stay home. Or it could be due to, it could be both actually. It could be both. It could be both in terms of him having poor form, and always saying, yo, since your baby is having a baby, you should stay home and assist her maybe or something like that. So he sent him home. He wasn't even on the bench. And Martial wasn't even on the bench. I think he had a knock or some injury on Monday when he was training, so he was not even in the squad. But I just have to make this being said, bro, because I don't want to, I want to separate and differentiate from fans that have been saying, yo, we're good enough to win the Premier League title. Yo, we have the players to win the Premier League title. Yo, it's not about tactics. It's not about strategy because the players are going to win. Dude, prior to Pogba getting prior to Pogba, this might be a mini rant, but I'm gonna just say this anyway because there's a few things I need to flesh out. Prior to Paul Pogba getting injured, Manchester United has been on a very good form. Is me. Things went left. Is me. Things went left when we played that match against Sheffield United at home. Now I don't know if this was a charity game for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer trying to play as a good Samaritan in terms of him, handing 3 points to Sheffield United because given that they haven't won 3 proper points this season, and it's funny because they got 3 points against Aston Villa, but this is a Manchester United channel. So, ever since that match at Old Trafford against Sheffield United, Manchester United has not been the same. Is me. They have not been. Hold on. Oh, interesting. Sophie's online. Not online. She's live right now. She's a Manchester United fan. Her channel is like hair dry treatment. But ever since that result again, Goldbridge is I bet Goldbridge is going off right now. But I have to say my piece and then I'll listen to his piece. So this is the thing, bro. Ever since that game against Sheffield United, Manchester United has been on a routine to average performance. Like it has not been consistent. And it's evident that if we continue like this, our reality is not winning the Premier League. This is not Premier League form. Man City, given the form of Manchester City, they are trying to inform us and other sides in Premier League that we're out of their league because they have won 20 games unbeaten. They have a game in hand. Is me. So, and we have them next. So, with that game in hand is against us. Is me. So, since we have drawn against Crystal Palace, City have already won the Premier League and they know it. Right now, we're just bouncing ball in a consolation prize. City is going to win the Premier League this year, and City should not even be, no disrespect to City, but City should not be even a talking point as it relates to the Premier League title because 3 or 2 months ago, my man was like in 4th place, if not 5th place. Is me. And things have changed for the worse. Liverpool was on top of the tree. Now they're at the knee of the tree. They're like in 6th place or 7th place. Liverpool. Tottenham was on top of the tree coming October of last year. Now they're like in 4th or 5th or something like that. They're playing a change of places with Chelsea. Is me. Us, we were on top of the league leading up till see I forgot, but ever since that Sheffield United game, bro, my man wanted to play as a good Samaritan and just hand um, you know, Sheffield United 3 points. Dude, we're trying to win the Premier League. Dude, we're trying to win the Premier League. We don't want to have that say so talking point of us not winning the Premier League for like almost a decade. We leave that stuff to Arsenal and Liverpool. And Liverpool broke that last year. Is me so we don't want to have the reputation. We don't want to have that with that reputation of not winning the Premier League after a long period of time. We don't want to be like Arsenal. We don't want to be like Arsenal. Arsenal haven't won the Premier League since Hurricane Ivan was in Jamaica, and that was 2004. Ever since, they have been in the top four, but for sure they haven't won the Premier League. They haven't won the Premier League. They have came close a few times, but to no avail, to no cigar. Liverpool broke that duck last season. They have broken their high, man. You see me? They went on a 30-year virgin spree of not winning the Premier League. You see me? And they broke that duck. They broke their virginity last year of winning the Premier League after 30 years. So we don't want to have the reputation. We don't want to have that cloud all over us that's saying, hey, Manchester United back in 2013, that was the last time they ever won the Premier League, and it's now 2050, and we remember. No, we don't want to have that cloud of judgment over us. You're better than that. Because I've seen comments on Twitter, bro, people saying, man, Manchester United is going to win the Premier League this season. And we have the players to win the Premier League this season. We have Bruno Fernandes, we have Paul Pogba, we have Marcus Rashford, we have Anthony Martial, we have Edison Cavani, we have Mason Greenwood, we have Daniel James. Dude, it's not about the players that win the Premier League. Okay, let me get this clear to you. Players do not win the Premier League. Strategy, tactfulness, and tactics win the Premier League. Defense and tactics win the Premier League. Is me. Players win the games. Is me. They allow you to gain points and so forth. But in terms of like silverware and trophies and credentials, nah. You need a proper defense to make essence of winning the Premier League. You need tactics to win the Premier League. And you even in tactics you don't want to have those Jose Mourinho tactics to win the Premier League. Dude, let me get this clear, because this is going to be the third time Pep Guardiola wins the Premier League for Man City. Pep Guardiola and Jose Mourinho came in the same period in 2016. And ever since, both have been on a parallel shift in terms of their journey, in terms of the Manchester clubs. You could say one had a better squad when he came in. You could say another one had work to do. Regardless, with that being said, the tactics is night and day. By the way, you can look through the window and say it's day. I don't want some of you guys thinking that I'm just an angel that's coming from on high to ascend to some of you mere mortals with the light over my head now. I'm not as goody two shoes as that, but this is the thing I need to say, bro. Ever since the emergence of the Manchester sides, ever since, as you could include the oil money, but United was spending decent money as well, so that is not even an excuse to use. Hold on, someone trying to hit on me. That's not an excuse to use, bro. Pep Guardiola is still in demand as a top coach, given the fact that he's a Czech manager. Let's just check that at the door, because he has statistics to back it up. We have seen managers that had sides that had a lot of money, and they didn't have jack to show for it. They didn't win any Premier League titles. They didn't win any titles to begin with. Pep Guardiola has shown consistency. They have shown consistency, and they have a squad depth. United have a squad depth of average players. That is not vital to winning the title in the Premier League. This is me. We have players that can put in a shift. Like Margot, I was listening to Mark Goldbridge before the game, and he was talking about Fred because people are saying that Fred, Fred is a decent baller and he's a starter. But I have to agree with Mark because Mark was saying that if this is the guy you want to start in your midfield, then make sure that you're not expecting to win the Premier League because this is not a guy that should be starting. In so many words, he was basically saying, not for verbiage, but he was basically saying, Fred is not a dude you should be starting week in, week out if your expectation is to win the Premier League title or win any title for that matter. This dude is a squad player at best. Dude. When Fred is shooting, I think my man is trying to play cricket and get a six, or he's trying to go for a home run when he's playing baseball. My man is going for the stands. My man is going for the pavilion and for the spotlights in the stadium. That is not the goal. That is not the goal to aim at. It's me. So, Fred, with all that being said, he's a good player. He can put a shift in. But let's just be realistic, dude. This is not a guy we expect to start week in, week out and win the Premier League. Let's lay hands on that for a second. Scott McTominay can put a shift in. Bruno, if we have these players around Bruno Fernandes, not only is Bruno Fernandes going to be frustrated and or furious, but this is not what he signed for. He signed for Manchester United to help United win the Premier League. You have decent players that can bring us to win the Premier League. But if there's no tactics to display, if there's no tactics to portray away from home, then we're not going to win. We're not going to bring the title home. We haven't won the Premier League title since 2013. Like there is this comment, some fans said that Manchester. This is what they say, and I'm gonna paraphrase it for a second. Them say Manchester United fans that passed away in 2013 are the luckiest set of fans. And I think what he meant by that is fans that saw us win the Premier League title in 2013 and they just die off, God bless them soul. Later on that year, they did not live to see how we're performing now. Ever since 2014 with Moyes in place, to us being in second place in Manchester City. They have not lived to see that. So they died on a high. They died on a high in relation to Alex Ferguson leaving the game on a high because he won the Premier League. You see me? So they didn't want to see Man United fans. I guess they didn't want to see certain Man United fans just go from up so to down so. They didn't want that to be made known, and that's respectable and understandable. But this is my thing, dude. I've reiterated this question for the longest of time. What is Manchester United's mentality like as relates to getting the Premier League? What is our mentality like? We had layers and acres when we were on top of the league between City and Liverpool. At best, Liverpool was behind our tails like 3 points. All games equal, isn't me? Now we ain't talking about Liverpool because Liverpool is out of the top 4. But City has now taken residency on top of the league. Okay? Let me just make that clear, sweet and sound. They have taken residency on top of the league, Manchester City. We seen that I can tell without them saying it, the players I can tell that has affected the players mentally. That has lessened the motivation for Manchester United players mentally to essentially try to go for the Premier League because they passed you out. They're like in a 100-meter race. Is me. Manchester United was like completed 50% at 100-meter race. City is like Usain Bolt, and I'm from Jamaica, so you know what's up. And he's like, zzz, he's on his way to the finish line. That is City. City is on their way to the finish line. And what is going to push them over the finish line is us losing to them next week. Or later down this week. One out of the two. If we go to Etihad Stadium, because it's empty because of COVID, so if we go to the Etihad Stadium, and it's been empty for a long while, but if we go to the Etihad Stadium and they win against us, they've won the Premier League. They've won and even then, even if we win at the Etihad Stadium, they've already won the Premier League. Because we have less than 20 games left to play in the season, is me. So that would be more than enough of a reason to give the Premier League to Manchester City this season. Because they have been that good. Some nigga trying to hawk on his bike. But so yeah, City is good more. Yeah. So even if we get 3 points from the Etihad Stadium, like we did 3 years ago, like we did 3 years ago at the Etihad Stadium when Chris Smalling with a header won it at the Etihad Stadium, that is not going to prevent. That's not going to that's not going to prevent him from us, winning the. That's not going to help us win the Premier League title. I mean, it might get us second place, but winners don't like second place. Second place is just a second in demand spot, isn't me? So that is not even a good spot to try go for if you're a Man City or a Man United side. You see, and City doesn't even let's be honest about this, bro. City's best striker has not even been playing this season. In the name of Sergio, not Jesus, Sergio Aguero. They have been playing with a false nine most of the time. Either with Kevin De Bruyne as a false nine some of the time, Phil Foden as a false nine some of the time. Definitely Gabriel Jesus because he's a striker, and even sometimes Raheem Sterling. And Gundogan has picked up form ever since last year December. Is me so. They are rich in squad depth of good players, but that is not good enough to win the Premier League. They have a strategy. Watch how Manchester City watch Man City when they're playing ball, in comparison to Manchester United's Ole ball. It's like day and night, bro. It's day and night. It's day and night, I should say. City is consistent because of the strategy they are portraying. What is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's strategy is portraying and displaying for his players? Especially when we're playing away against low block, Stoke City 2010 type of sides. When they're not going to give us space, they're not going to give us any space for our wingers to exploit that space with the pace that they're given. Like, for example, Rashford. I mean, Greenwood is not one for pace, but he has speed about him. Daniel James have pace. Marcel can run a few, Marcel can run. So, what is our strategy if there is no pace? What is our plan B if there is no space to exploit? Cavani is a good striker to play, bro. But Cavani is no target man. He can play that role. And even then, who is going to run off? I mean, Rashford can play off Cavani. But then again, bro, the space won't be there. So then again, and Manchester United is not a possession-based side so that it can break down sides like Manchester City. So again, what is our strategy away from home? What is the game plan we are trying to play? Because counter-attacking can take you so far. Counter-attacking can take you so far until you run in a British brick wall. That wall was Crystal Palace defense. There was no space for us to exploit. Our wingers were there's this account on Twitter say the game was as dull as dishwater, bro. That's what the game. This nigga trying to interrupt my video, but that's how dull the game was, and it has the game had a dull atmosphere, like the presence of the ghost was in the presence, because again it was foggy and all of that. But that shouldn't excuse us of not getting 3 points. And even if we got 3 points, our strategy needs to be called into question. There are persons on Twitter right now, there are persons on YouTube right now that I've seen before this video, and I will continue to see after this video, saying that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer should be excused from the job of Manchester United. That's what people are saying. Hold on. That's what people are saying after the game against Crystal Palace. This is me. Now, I wouldn't say I'm Ole out, because I believe Ole can no. I believe Ole should be winning a trophy this season. I believe he should be winning a trophy this season, whether it's the FA Cup, the EuroLeague Cup, and even the EuroLeague Cup. There's a few decent sides that they can put monkeys in oranges. Like they're decent quality sides in the EuroLeague that can probably give us a hard time. But that hard time should tell us how strong we are. We want to see if we can overcome that. Because again, I don't think United squad is mentally strong enough, mentally tough enough to either win the Premier League or consistent enough to try win the Premier League. They might not say that to me, but the proof is in pudding. Observation, the way how you play on the pitch tells me that you're not maybe confident, who cares of not winning the Premier League. That shows in how the players played on the pitch. Now back to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, because I don't want him to get away with murder. Is he supposed to be sacked? I mean, that can be a talking point of some of you guys, but I don't think us sacking Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is the best way to go. Because we're just going to go back like 3 years ago. It's like sacking managers is not going to put us in a better place. We need a system. A consistent system. That when players wake up in their sleep, when fans wake up in their sleep, and someone have a gun to your head and asks you, what is the self-play for Manchester United? You should just display and portray from your mufflers just like that. You shouldn't be thinking about it for seconds. You shouldn't be thinking about it for minutes. How Manchester United play? Well, Manchester United is a possession-based side, and they play side by side. They have a 3-man midfield with Bruno Fernandes as the number 10. You say what? Bruno Fernandes as the number 10, Mason Greenwood on the right wing, Matt Rashford on the left wing, and they play interchangeably. So the strikers might be on the right wing, the striker might be on the left wing, and the winger might be the striker. Oh, Manchester United play. Go so. So we need to know how the side is playing, just like that. Just like that. We should not be thinking of how Manchester United play. We don't have a consistent style of play to display is on the pitch. I don't want this video to be long, so I'm gonna just wrap up. But then again, bro, you know what's up, bro. Leave your comments down below in the comment section below. Can be disagreements. This is a all-purpose open discussion channel. All-purpose, all-inclusive, comments. No hateful comments. Leave your comments down below. Like and subscribe to the channel. Leave your comments and opinions down below. This is a Manchester United fan channel. We're not good enough. We're not good as how we think we are. We're not good enough. We're just not good enough. Paul Pogba is probably he might leave this season, after this season. And Ole Gunnar Solskjaer might just join him by being sacked. But let's not be negative with that. If Ole Gunnar Solskjaer stays next season and we haven't won a trophy this season, which I've said before, if Paul Pogba stays in Manchester United this season and he hasn't won a trophy with us this season, he needs to leave for his own good. Not for us, but for his own good. We're basically wasting Paul Pogba's time, his prime, and we don't want that right now because he's a Manchester United product that went to Juventus, became a top player, and came back to us so that we can win the Premier League title. And that expectation is still has not been exceeded. So he needs to leave for his own. Whether he goes to Bayern, Burnley, Barcelona, wherever. As long as he wins trophies elsewhere, who are we to say? My man of the match is, Dean Koons was decent between the sticks, so I don't think decency is more than enough to give a player man of the match. Eric Bay was kind of risky in terms of his tackles. I mean, Rashford was kind of horrible. Let's be honest about that. Cavani was trying to drop deep and play players into space, but the space was not there. I don't think I have a man of the match, bro. Again, if you have a man of the match, be kind enough to just leave it in the comment section down below. And I'll show to you guys in the next video podcast. The preview against City. So yeah. Leave your comments down below in the comment section. Like and subscribe to the channel, share the channel, and I'll show to you guys in the next video podcast. Peace.